You are not alone. This is the Resistance.
Good day, good day, good day. I know, I'm getting on it, okay? They're just gonna make fun of me anyway. Alright. Look, don't talk to me when I'm talking to them. We've already talked about this. It fucks it all up. Okay, I can't get the message through. Jesus Christ. Alright. Yeah, just having a small discussion. Great line in a great movie. In order to find a equal conversation partner, one is forced to speak with the Almighty. Alright, so, prophets, revelations, religion, government, politics, money, finances, banks, people, rich people, poor people. Shit. That was less than 60 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Worldwide Resistance Network. If you haven't figured out who we are, there's entirely too much bullshit that you can go and figure it all out now. We like to have fun. We like to talk. We like to argue. We like to talk about the very things that you are being asked to ignore. We talk about the things that you will say are not important. We talk about things that you one day will remember and will say in an argument, holy shit, are you trying to tell me that this is really what's going on? I didn't believe those fuckers. It'll always be the real world event that makes the internet, quote unquote, come to life. I can bitch about anything. And then one day, something's going to happen in your real reality, in your existence, that has absolutely nothing to do with your internet, your phone, or my piddly little ass. But something's going to happen, and you're just going to be like, oh, that's what they meant. So always keep that in mind when we speak, that we're not here to convert you. We're not here to make you believe what we believe. I've just had simple revelations about reality. This world's fucked up. And everybody around here in this little globe of ours seems to know a whole lot about nothing. And very little about anything important. And that's sad. We weren't always a species like that. We used to be a species that loved information, that loved intelligence. we treated intelligence very much like God. I won't lie. It is what we. The very word prophet is what it stands for. Enlightened individuals that communicate with the Creator. Everybody just says prophet. Guy that talks with God. They never attribute the person's required intelligence. You had to be smart enough to go and look for a conversation with God first now, didn't you? But that's a simple thing. So what's going on out there, ladies and gentlemen? Why am I laughing a little bit? Why am I talking to the Almighty? Why am I doing this foolishness? Because I'm sitting here and I'm watching some stuff, and as I'm watching some stuff, I got these old teachings that are going through my head. And then all of a sudden, I have a real world event that takes place that collides with an old school teaching that I never honestly could get behind. But as of 25 minutes ago, it's got to be the funniest shit ever. So I have to share this one with you. I have no fucking choice. I was commanded from above to make sure that you guys got this one. Okay, so it's important to know that in the last days when, Jesus comes back, we're told, right? If it's supposed to be a real person, my ideologies were that it could very well just be all of us choosing to become like Jesus, and that would, the return of Jesus then would be interesting. But let's argue for a moment that it's a very literal person that's returning. Okay, so, and let's say that it's not going to be all like crazy cloud opening, and maybe the motherfucker's got to be born again. Maybe literally the only way to get here is the way to get here. Maybe this is why all different forms of sexual perversions are really frowned upon because we always need to safeguard and protect the art of procreation. Why? Because the creation of a human is where the soul can come and see the earth, you know? I don't fucking know, dude. Just go with it, okay? So let's say for the argument here that if Jesus was to return, but he would have to, let's say that there would be rules. Let's say he has to return through his bloodline, okay? And let's put it in that context for the sake of this simple ideology, because I've been trying to figure out how the fuck this guy is going to return. Because the thing is that if you read very closely and you pay close attention, I'm not about to bust out every scripture and explain it to you. Just because I know what I'm talking about, my brain doesn't mean that you guys are going to figure it out unless you actually read it, okay? But it said that he will return and that he will fight for his throne. Okay, so that's important. Because his throne, if I'm not mistaken, is in the Holy Land. Way the fuck over there. Right? So, if I understand correctly, that's where it's at. Okay. In order for that to happen, though, that means that he would have to be born here in order to go and return. So, I say here, you know, I don't mean Canada, I don't mean the States, I just mean somewhere on the North American continent. Right? Somewhere that's, quote-unquote, substantially far away from the Middle East, I guess is the point. And this is why all of this became very funny to me, because if there would be truth to it, and if he had to return through his bloodline, well, his bloodline's not fucking here. Like, this is the North American continent. This is not where Jesus is from. Like, I'm not even being anti-Christian, I'm just pointing that out. Like, if you look on the map, yeah, my house is just not where he was from. It just wasn't. He was from over there. So can someone explain to me how the scriptures states that he will come from somewhere around here? And I'm not even lying, there's a religion, okay, that believes it. The Mormons actually believe that Christ will return on the North American continent. They actually have it pegged to a very specific spot in the United States. But that's okay. Because this fucking thing might just actually come true. So this is interesting. How would we do it? How would we pull it off? We talk about like the Holy Grail, right? Being the womb of a woman and things of that nature. And we talk about like royal bloodlines and things like that. Okay. So none of this is foreign to you, I hope. So this is where I'm going with it. You ready? You ready? I'm gonna do it, okay? I'm doing it. But they're gonna fucking make fun of me. Our refugees. One of our refugees, and they may not even have arrived yet, but one of our refugees in the near future is holding Christ's bloodline. In order for all this shit to work, and in order for all this shit to make sense, we would have to kind of, sort of, maybe get into the business of mass importing those kinds of people over here to get the math, the odds, to make the odds play in our favor, so that when he would return, that he would return here. Just saying. We talk about the shit that you guys are asked to ignore. That is varying forms of religious prophecy from various religions that have just been superimposed upon each other in order to see whether or not we might be right. I know it was the best joke. I know. So why? Why? I liked what Tin Man's last video, you know. God could have been like the government and protected the tree. And you know what, seriously, just not even put the fucking thing in the garden in the first place. And that would have saved us all a lot of fucking problems, wouldn't it? Not if you pay attention to the way physics works, at the smallest level. Biochemistry and physics and things of this nature. Reactions, actions, reactions, problem solutions, all of this. Okay? This is crazy. There has to be a tree. It has to be there. Why? Oh. Well, without struggle, without conflict, there will be no growth. Why are things stagnant? Because there's absolutely no resistance. No force coming down, no force going up. Stagnant. Doing absolutely fucking nothing for nobody. So, where there is struggle, there is progress. What you're seeing throughout the world, the sheer fact that my brain just goes, and your brain just goes, oh my God, the sheer fact that we can do these simple things is that manifestation. That's what it is. It's our struggle, which is worldwide, presenting solutions. We are changing. What, did you guys think that like our skin was going to change and we're going to fucking start having 4 eyes instead of 2? And no. It was never going to be that complex. We already did that evolution. We already did that one once. It was when our thumb didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to, and then all of a sudden it just started fucking doing this shit for us and becoming what we call an opposable thumb to do whatever we need with. Yeah, that's a very visual, very physical evolution. This one, not so visible, probably 1 billion times more physical. No one wants to talk about that now. It's entirely too much. This is why I don't hate our refugees. I can't hate our refugees. I cannot, with a good, honest heart, tell you that I love Jesus and then turn around and hurt and hate his people. And then they say, well, no, Jesus what? What, Jesus come from San fucking Francisco? I don't think so. Jesus came from the Middle East. He was a Muhammad-looking motherfucker. Not only that, Jesus was a Jew. He taught his own received him not. Who the fuck did he teach? Is it fair to say Jesus may have been the first Muslim? Christianity came so many years after Christ died. Us white folk, yeah. Who do you think taught us of this Jesus fellow? The very first time, the very first fucking white dude that hears of Jesus. Who is it? Something tells me it was a Muslim. Why? Because Christianity didn't exist. Christianity is a group of people that love Jesus. Get that through your thick skulls. Christianity has nothing to do with loving God. People say that Jesus was God. I don't know. Jesus looks a whole lot like a creation of the earth. Why would the Creator need to create something for him to step into? Why would he need to do that? He was the fucking Creator. This should be simple. The rules of his creation should not apply to him or her or the big electron, like George Carlin used to call it. I don't fucking know what it is. I don't pretend to know what it is. I just have a whole lot of fun with the information attached to what people like to believe it is. That is where I reside in the spiritual realm. I am far from stagnant, but I am a rushing fucking river of information, and I drown most people. Because if you're going to be one of those, I'm purely this, you will never, ever understand what I'm teaching you. Because you have to go look at another book. You have to go and look at other things. I understand now that verse that at the end of Revelation that says that no book shall be added to this or shall be removed from this. They're talking about chronologically. The truth is that at the end of Revelation, the fucking world is done. Technically, we will have nothing left on this fucking earth to write a book with. Therefore, none shall be added to it. You can't subtract it. Say you can't subtract time. And if everything in the book has to be fulfilled, then it's a marker for time. Then you can't subtract books. They tried. We still have it in a book. It's called a Dark Age. We know nothing about it, but we know it existed. Can't subtract it. Doesn't work. Can't hide it. They've tried. The Vatican has hid stuff for thousands and thousands of years. They've tried for as long as the Vatican has been alive. And for the only thing these books and these religions teach you, the only thing that's actually truthfully imperative to remember, is that whatever came from underneath us was bad. Whatever came from above us was good. That's the only thing that I truly grasp from this message from one human creature to the next human creature, with about 3,600 years in between, give or take a few. Guys, how will you... Here's the mission. This is the mission. You ready? This right here. No greater mission on earth. I need you to create a document that a human being can look at in 3,000 years from today. And I want you to make fucking sure that these people know exactly what you're talking about. If something comes into this earth every 3,600 years and it fucks it up, and it is the only cause of concern for the entire planet, in order to maintain a life, in order for this little blue ball to do what it does best, every 3,000 years it enters a war. All of these teachings are allegorical. We've discovered through time that these allegories point up to the stars. It's fair to say that there might be something that comes from there that's important. What's this Nibiru stuff that we've been looking into silently and hearing about since 2012? It's been around. Here's some fun shit. The very first day that a human being noticed Nibiru, and it was published in the newspaper, it was my birthday. All of a sudden it got retracted real fucking quick, didn't it? Nobody wanted to talk about that thing any fucking more. So, there's a lot of people that were born that year. There's a lot of people that were fucking born on that day. A lot of us to choose from now, isn't there? But what if there wasn't one Jesus? What if it was all of us? What if that was the birth? What if right there? What if that was the God's gonna fuck with all of us right there. So when the star in the sky showed up, yeah, boom, I'm going to give them one Jesus, yeah. But when they find this star, it's going to be so fucking far, they're never going to figure out. It's going to be great. Yeah, every child born that day is going to be a Jesus. I'm not Jesus. I don't have that fucking illusion. I just find it funny and entertaining, and we talk about indigo children. Our generation is that. That's the fun part. That's what I love. It's like, oh, okay, so you're talking about us. You're trying to suppress whatever evolution might have happened to the human creature that began with our generation. There is something else that is happening, and it's actually happening with a good, strong push. People are trying to reconnect with their children in a way that it has not been done for a very long time. Right around now, we're realizing that, holy shit, the kids and the technology, no, we got to be careful with this. Yeah, I had a Nintendo too. Oh, yeah, but Dad had got me off and he watched the fucking news, and that was the point. I guess that was the point, that although technology was available to us as children, there were some pretty strict fucking... You only use it when you used it, and that was it. And Mom and Dad made sure of it back then. Nowadays, we've approached it a little differently, where it's like, shit, we saw what happened to us and some of our friends in school who were not computer inclined, and we've seen how many jobs that they're missing out on today because most of it is technologically inclined. We get it. We're not fucking morons. So what did we do? We allowed our children to become not technologically inclined. No, fuck that. We wanted our children to become technologically savvy, which means it didn't matter what you gave them, they were going to figure it out. It really didn't matter. We were the generations that connected the VCR for our parents. So we were the generations that connected the VCRs for our parents because they were dumb. We wanted our children to literally be able to move satellites around the sky if they just happened to know how. They needed to know how to do this. We're not stupid. There's a war. We're raising our children during a state of damn near global war. We're not just raising children anymore. We're raising mini fucking adults. We're getting ready for that call. Any man, woman, and child capable of bearing arms, meet us at the front lines. What? Do you think that's not going to happen? It's war. Once the tech falls out of the military equation, a certain level of other books are going to have to open. And all these people are going to have to look at what is ethical and moral and so on and so forth. And we got the Boy Scouts and we got the fucking cadets and we got this and we got that. Can we make this work? Oh my God, it's starting to sound a whole lot like the Hitler Youth. I'm going to tell you something. Those little boys are going to fucking protect their pond. And probably that 1 acre around that pond. And if that's all we can do, then that's all we can do. This is where it's going. It's getting stupid. I'm tired of people talking about the war and talking about this and talking about that and having no idea of the ramifications of their ignorance. Seriously, it's fucking baffling, man. We're not even allowed to talk about the Second World War with open decency, and we're about to get into the Third World War. This is preposterous. This is absolutely fucking ludicrous. Just can't be done. We can't be fighting like this. This is fucking dumb. Okay? And truthfully, the way it looks, in my eyes, it's a very simple solution. Just fucking nuke Israel. Just get rid of the fucking thing. That's all. If the Palestinian people can't have it, and they're fucking locked up in Gaza somewhere, God knows, haven't heard of them in how long? Wonder why we haven't heard about them. We're trying to be real quiet about them over there right now, aren't we? Yeah, I guarantee the numbers have dropped a little. Just saying. Stop forgetting about the important shit. You know, you guys got all mad when Assad used chemical weapons. Yeah, didn't we just read the Americans did too? Yeah. Like, it's really upsetting for me as a Canadian, I'm not going to lie. I'm supposed to be at war with countries that give money to terror states. So any country that actively supports terrorism, yeah, if you give that country money, I'm supposed to fucking hate you. What's Donald Trump doing giving Saudi Arabia billions of dollars, be it dollars or weapons? Or a weapons deal? The fuck, man? What the hell's going on? Oh, unless, secretly, the United States knows what's going on. And if they do, then this war isn't over. This war hasn't even truly began. As I said, the enemies are going to start switching roles real quick. You're not going to have much of a choice. There's a bunch of Muslims in Canada, there's a bunch of Muslims in the States, there's a bunch of Muslims all over the fucking world that have adequately brought forward the problem. And the problem is seeming extremely similar to a problem we handled in the 1940s. So, it's time to address the fucking catastrophe. That's all it is. And if you guys can't wrap your heads around what has to be dealt with yet, you're not ready to go to war. You're not ready to be pro-war. You don't even know how to properly be anti-war. Yeah. And then I find out that if people say things against Islam in this country, that it's not a bill anymore. Apparently, it's law that just passed not too long ago that you can do no more than 2 years in prison for saying things that might incite violence. All right, no problem. Lock me up. Lock me up. I'm not going to stop talking. I'm not. You guys are actually just watching and you're waiting for the day I do it. You're waiting for the day where I just say, fuck it, kill them all. You're waiting for it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to allow them to just, out of nowhere, make me into the guy that gives the kill order. No. It's easier and far more pleasant for me to make their lives a living fucking hell. You want to believe that the savior of the world, or the greatest prophet to have ever walked the earth, is literally boiling in human excrement in hell? If that's the religion you subscribe to, and if that's what you believe, me and you might have some fucking problems. Because if that's what you believe, I also know what else you believe. And I'll have no problem shooting you in broad daylight. Right in fucking Times Square. Simply by knowing where your stance is on Jesus Christ will actually tell me what your stance is on pedophilia, what your stance is on the Gentile nations of the world. What the hell is any country on this planet doing helping Israel? Don't you guys get it? If you're not a Jew, you are a Gentile. And if you are a Gentile, you are a goy, which means you are actually less or equal to cattle in the eyes of the Jewish people, especially the ones in Israel. The ones in Israel are the ones that are trying to get as far away from you as humanly fucking possible because they can't stand your smell of you. The good God-fearing Torah-reading Jews have no problems being your next-door neighbor. Did you notice that? Did you notice that? Israel is a form of religious extremism. There, I said it. The state of Israel is an expression of religious extremism. One more time? One more time? You sure? All right. The state of Israel is an expression of religious extremism. And if you didn't know that, now you fucking know. Stop giving them fucking money.